Hi everyone. So in this video we are going to learn a built-in function which is called map in JavaScript. Map in JavaScript. So what's a map? Map is a function that is used to transform each value in an array. Used to given array. So that's the standard definition of it. Let's look at the example. We have this array. Let's suppose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we want to multiply by 2, or we want to multiply each element by 2. So how we can achieve this? We will simply have to loop over this array, and on each element we will have to multiply, right, by 2. And we can actually achieve this using a built-in JavaScript map function. So it works like this. We have to take this object array dot and then call this map function, and here map function takes a callback. So callback is also a function. So it takes a function like this, a normal function. Let's say we have a function add, let's say multiply by 2. So it takes a number and multiply the number by 2 and return it. And we can do num multiplied by 2. Okay. So we can come down here and copy and paste it over here like so. Alright. Now we don't need this anymore. We can get rid of it. And so we can store the result, and we can console log. So what's gonna do? Take each element of an array, multiply it by 2, and create a new array just like this, based on the existing array, right? So it turns a new array. It doesn't modify the existing one. So that's the important point to note. And we can actually get rid of this name because it only requires an anonymous function. Or you can also pass arrow function over here, something like this, and it will take an argument num, and we can return num into 2. Alright, the same output. And if we have only one line of code, for example num into 2, we are not doing anything else, like we are not consoling something hello. Alright, so it will run over the array on each element. It will output hello, right, each time around. But we are not doing this. We just want to return num into 2 in this only one line of code. So it can be reduced into one line. We don't need this curly bracket. We'll get rid of it. We can simply do num into 2, right? And that's pretty much it. And it will create a new array out of the existing one with each element multiplied by 2, right? So that's the syntax of array.map. You can also do const result to map, and let's say you want to do addition num plus 5. Oh, I have to call this one 2. So take each element, add 5 to it, and return a new array. That's it. So that's pretty much it about array. And we can also do a pass index here. Let's say you want to add index to current element, right? On each element you want to add I to it, right? So what it will do, it will take index of the current element, add it to it, and do the same for all the elements, and returns a new array. So 1 plus 0 would be 1, and 2 plus 1 would be 3, and so on and so forth. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of map function, right? Suppose you want to create your own map function. We don't want to be reliant on the built-in ob functions. So how can we achieve this? We want to do something like this, right? Array.mymap, not mymap an array. We don't want to pass anything here. We want to pass a callback function here. So get rid of this. We want to achieve this this thing, right? So in order to do this, be able to achieve this, you need to use something called prototype. Let me write it, prototype, and each object has a prototype to it. We can get into detail about prototype, but this is not the lecture about prototype, so we can go on. I'll just tell you a little bit about it. So for example, what you want to do is simply do array dot, because each object, array is also an object, and array has a prototype. So you can do array dot prototype dot my map. So what we are doing here, we are taking the prototype of the array and attaching this function my map, and then we will do an anonymous function, and here we will pass a callback, and this callback, and what we're gonna do over here, we will create a new array, right? Result new array, because we want to create a new one out of the existing one. We don't want to modify the current array. Okay, so we can come down here, we can do for let I equals to 0, I less than this dot length. Yeah, I'll explain what this is. So this refers to the current context, and current context is the array, this array, right? Because we want to do this array dot my map. So arrays are array, it can be array 2, array 3, any name, right? Let's call it nums. So nums is our array, and nums is the context, current context. So this refers to the current array, which can be nums or anything which is passed to this my map function. All right, so on which we are calling this my map function, right? So we are calling my map on this nums. So the nums is called the current context. So if we do this dot length, we will get the length of the current array, right? And this means the current array. So what we'll have to do is we have to call this callback function. For example, like this, callback this I, and the result of this we want to store like so, current, and we want to push current to the result, right? And over here we can return result, sorry. All right, so we have this new array, and we are looping over this current array, and on each element we are doing this callback function. We are calling this function callback and returning some result, and we are storing the result to current and pushing the current to the new result array, right? That's what we are basically doing. So let's say if you have a function which takes a number and adds 1 to it. So it will take each number from this array and add 1 to it, and push the new value to the array, right? Keep pushing it until it's done, right? And finally we will return the result. So now we can use our own my map functions. So we'll come down here, create a new array, let's call it nums. Let's call it 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60, and let's create a callback function. Callback add, let's do this time power of 2, or square, something like this. Yeah, square. We want to return the square of each element and create a new array. It will take a num, it will return num into num, right? And now we can do nums dot my map. Okay, this is the name my map. All right, and it will accept a callback. Our callback is this. We will simply cut and paste it over here, get rid of the name, format it, and yeah, something like this. Return num into num, and it will return a new array. Let name it modified, and so log modified. So it will do 20 times 20, means square 20 is 200, and similarly square of 30 is 900, and so on and so forth. So it has created a new array for us with each element squared, right? So this is not a built-in function, this is our own function that we just created, right? We can also take index, and let's say we want to do num plus I, meaning we want to add the index to each element of the array, right? So the output will be 20. Yeah, what's happening? Num plus I. Is it taking the I or not? Okay, sorry. We in this my map functions, we are only using one argument, right? We need to pass another argument. We need to tell that it can also take the index. So if we don't want to pass index, that's okay. But if you want to pass index, then yeah, you must declare it over here in this call, right? So it'll take the index and it will calculate the result like this on each element and return a new array. Okay, index is not defined. What happened? Okay, index I over here. Okay, clear the console. And yeah, now we get 20 because 0 plus 20 is 20 and 30 plus 1 31 and so on and so forth. So index is added to each element of the array and new array has been created. Alright, so this is the map function is about. My map, we can also create a polyfill just like we did. So let me tell you a good thing about prototype, an interesting thing. So we can come down here, we can copy and paste our array. Let's say this is a num, copy and paste it, and we can do nums, then expand it, and you'll see it has 5 elements and you don't see anything else. But yeah, there's something weird out, which is prototype. So that's what I was talking about. Prototype is a hidden property which exists in every object of JavaScript. So if you expand the prototype, you will see lots of function, right? And you can also see your function, my map, which we just created, my map. So other functions are, let's say this, we have push, pop. You know, when we want to add something to the end of the array, we can do push, and remove something that we can use pop. And it must have a map function, which is its built-in map. Okay, we have got this map function, right? So this is the built-in map, and this is the map that we just created, my map, right? So yeah, so that's how we can do it. But let me clear the console again, and let me create a new array. So first time around, let's say this is the 10 20 30, a simple array. And if we expand it first time, because before that I had actually created a paste some code over here on the console, that's why you were able to see map. But now there's no map function. So if we can come down here and we will copy this entire piece of code and paste it down here. Then now we will clear the console and do array, right? And expand this array and expand the prototype. You will see my map over here because this is the function that we just created, right? And it's a constructor and does something. Okay, so this is the my map function, and it's a built-in property of array objects. So you can do something like this: array dot my map. Yeah, it will give you suggestions. Before that, it wouldn't have been able to give you any suggestion because there was no function under the name my map. We can do something like num into 2, right? And then each element will be multiplied by 2, right? 20 40 60. So that's it, guys, for today's video. I'm gonna get into more concepts and we'll elaborate on map in later videos. Thank you.